Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Grim Report. Well, you guys know what I do here. Tell a story. Well, this is a story. This one's about, the legend of Colonel Buck's tomb. This is in Maine. It's gonna be a rather short one. That's why I do this. That's why I'm doing this, because it's gonna be short and sweet. This is the first one of the new year. The first Monday of the new year as well. So, let me get down to this one. Let's begin at the beginning, shall we? Well, coming back from Hawaii after that scarce thing that we did, we got a call up after the holidays. And, well, it was in Maine. There were some strange happenings going on, and some place in Maine. I don't know where it is. I was still a bit hungover. I don't drink, but my head still hurt, and I was still in pain. Over the past couple of weeks, Jim was still hungover from a massive amount of alcohol intake that a Irishman can take without vomiting on his feet. Sarah was the more sober of the three of us. I was still in pain. Jim, well, was mostly drunk, so Sarah took the reins. She drove us to the airport, got us on the nearest flight to Maine. Took a couple hours. We got there. We met our client. His name was let's just call him Eric for protection purposes, because of what has about happened the past couple of days that we were there. He wanted us to investigate all the myths and legends in Maine that we could muster. I told him we only do 3 per client. He was fine with that. So, as Sarah did some research on this tomb that he wanted to investigate, there was a legend behind it. Sarah did some research and piled a little bit, asked around, such like that. She got a little here and there, only enough for her to write down and me to read. It is said that the legend of Colonel Buck's tomb is not much. But this guy forced, I believe, his wife to leave. She spent her next few years raising her son alone. She came back and asked him to get him help to take care of his son. This guy refused. This guy's a massive dick. Pardon my language. He refused, so he wanted to make sure that she never bothered him again. He pronounced her as a witch in those parts. At that point in time, he had her burned at the stake. During this, the child stole his mom's leg and ran off and buried it on his own. When this guy died, they say they buried him in a tomb. They say there is a leg stain on his tomb, and he wanted us to investigate this entire thing. What very little that we had from our research, we went about doing this. We went to the plot, the tomb. I'm not sure what we saw there, but Sarah said she saw forms, a shape of something, and we gathered up our equipment, as you do. And we set up everything. We set our equipment up. We set it all up. Pointing at this tomb to see if we could get a picture of this leg stain. Or something. What we got was nothing not too spectacular. Here it goes. As we were setting this stuff up, every now and then, something would appear, something would not. We'd get heat signatures, we'd get detections, we'd get noises, mind you, EKG meters, the heat infrared cameras that we had set up. All of it was working pretty good. Every once in a while, our micro recorders, that records voices, our voice box, white noise maker, they'd all go off at once. All at one time. Now, I'm not one for saying that there is paranormal activity there. We caught images, infrared scans, and all of that of something that appeared to be a leg. Now, one would think, yeah, that's enough to give to the client, but no, you know us. We had to go further. And so we did. We went a little bit deeper. Sarah did some more research, found out the same stuff. Nothing that we know of that would cause infrared spikes, EKG meters to go off, or even the white noise generator to start making noise. Making voice. Sounded like there was a voice here and there, but nothing too spectacular. Nothing like that, like what we caught that night. All this effort, and we got next to nothing. But we did get the stuff that our client wanted. It wasn't like the Green Lady. It wasn't like anything like that. Thank God. I didn't want something like that to happen again. Even though I was prepared for it, I don't think a gun would hurt a ghost, now would it? So, we set up, like I said, we kept cameras on it. He wanted 24-hour surveillance on it. We kept 24-hour surveillance on it for at least 2 or 3 days. It was slowly into the new year. Slowly working up to it. Up to this day that I'm recording it now. We got the same thing. The leg was there. It appeared on all the cameras. But nothing else. I don't know what he was expecting to happen. It was just another boring day. Another boring couple of days. Up until Sarah started having flashbacks when she put her hand where the leg would be. One night, she'd wake up screaming like she was being burned alive. The horrible sound was just screeching. It could drive any person insane. At any point, it was all the screaming that she did. And at one point she said, "I can't feel my leg." I didn't know which leg it was. Nor did I care to ask her. She said, she continued to say, "I can't feel my leg." She was burning up. She was ripping her clothes off at one point. At another point, she would jumping in the swimming pool in her hotel. In this weather, in Maine, of all places, in December. Just to get relief from burning pain. I told Jim maybe it was a bad idea to bring her along. Just bear with me. It gets worse. Another night she woke up and she had burns all over her body. Not red marks, I mean full-fledged third-degree burns. It was like a burn victim had just came into from a burn ward after a fire, after being engulfed in flames, like gasoline had been poured on her body, and it just went up. We had to find a way to stop what was happening to her. Me and Jim went to the lengths of looking on the internet, and what we found wasn't much help. Then Jim found this guy in town, kind of an empath like Sarah. He said there was only one way to do this, and that is to stop the spirit that was possessing her. So I asked him, so what, you want me to freaking do an exorcism? I said, no, that wasn't what he meant, but that might help. I didn't know much about these things, so I said, okay. We'll get a hold of a priest. We'll see if we can do something about it. This ghost needs to be put to rest, is what Jim said. And I said, yeah, we have to do one of two things. Find the leg, or get her exorcised, or do both. He looked at me and said, why don't we just go do that? We don't know where that leg is. We don't know where she was buried, or even if, well, we know the story is true, or this wouldn't be happening. So we gotta find the leg, and we gotta find it fast. And then we gotta do what we have to do. We have to burn it, like the rest of the body was burned, or bury it with the rest of the body. We didn't know where her grave was. So we asked around, asked the archivist. We found some things. We found some research on where this might have happened, if it did happen. We heard some hearsays, you know, heard some words, like you do, as you do, every day. Till we came up to this one guy. He said he knows somebody who might know where this is, where this leg is, if it even existed. And we followed him. We talked to the guy and he told us the story. Same story we read and all know about by now. Same story that Sarah looked up, but he had one minor detail. Where she was buried, and where the leg might be buried. So, I went to where the leg was. Jim went where the body was. We both started digging. We dug it up. He dug up the body. It's an unmarked grave, not even a cemetery. Now there was the leg. Pauper's grave of sorts on the outskirts of town. Dug it up. He dug up the body. I dug up the leg. And we reunited them. We had to do it quick because they said I got a phone call from Jim saying that she was in worse shape. It was like she was burning. She was nearly dead and she was burning more. More of her body, more burn marks showed up on her body. She was slowly burning alive. And there was nothing the doctors could do. So I rushed the leg to where the body was, reunited it, buried her properly with a priest. What do you think? We're going to do an exorcism? Got her a proper burial. We got a phone call. It's like nothing happened to Sarah at all. All the burn marks were gone. All of it. We thought this was going to be uneventful. For me and my team, nothing's uneventful. Nothing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for watching or listening. I know I may have did this once before. I don't know. I've gotten so many over the years. Past couple of years, it's kind of unique to me that sometimes I might go over some that I've already had. Doing the storytelling part is something I might do. I might go back and make stories of the other versions of the other ones that I did earlier this year and last year. It's been a couple of years since I first started doing this. Here we are going into 2020. Time this is up, it'll be 2021. And we're just headed into it now. And I thank everybody who has subscribed and those who have not and that still listen to my videos. I'm pretty sure there's some people that do that are not subbed. When I first started this, I started doing reports on anything and everything, comic books to movies. Then when I got with a group of people, one of them told me to find my niche. I still respect Vault of Nightmares for setting me on the right path. Then I got set on another path, the path that I'm on now, by someone I listen to. I don't want to mention her name because, well, I'll give her credit where credit is due. When I put this video up, I'll have her YouTube channel and everything set up. You know, great person, great storyteller. Love the voice of this lady. I give her credit where credit is due. Now, if I'm making this go too long, I apologize. Madame Raven is her name. She was the inspiration of me starting the way I'm doing it now. Kudos to her for getting me through this. That is her credit. And I will put her YouTube thing in the description below when I put this up. If you're watching it now, then it's probably down there. If not, look her up. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, good luck, good night, and God bless.